Welcome, everyone. I am so happy, humbled, and excited to have you here. I am buzzing because we are going to be redefining success. I want this to be a contemplative process. I am going to have a brief discussion and then I'm going to pose some questions to you. I would love for you to respond, to answer these questions. You can do them by emailing me, messaging me on YouTube, depending on where you're watching this, because I post this on podcasts, but I also have the visual show on YouTube. It's a little bit more of a conversation going, so I will be asking questions. And I'd love for you to spend a little time contemplating. Number one is, are you able to be present? Are you able to trust enough in yourself? Because you have to really trust in yourself to not always be worrying about the future or ruminating over the past, right? So, can you be present? Do you trust enough that you are able to be in this moment? Because I know there's some people who have spent their whole life, and I used to be that person who never spent time in the present moment. I was either ruminating over the past, the pain, the hurt, the loss, the wrongs, or stressing and worrying about the future. But what presence means is being able to be in the moment and aware without the thoughts. So just being present, just taking it in, being a part of what's going on in the world without the constant narration. Not that we control that, but you can be aware of a thought without identifying, adding to it, creating more stories. So, one thing that I would ask you is, how does being fully present in your life impact your perception of success? Because when I think about life and success, the more I can be present, and nature does this for me a lot, the more successful and fulfilled I feel. Number two, I believe success is about prosperity and abundance. And I would say prosperity and abundance is a mindset. That's what I believe. I believe it's a mindset. So it doesn't necessarily mean money, but it can. Abundance is a mindset. So do you have a rich inner world? Do you have the time? Are you someone who feels like you are always out of time? You're always rushing. You don't have the time to do the things that you want to do, the time to study, or the time to work out, or the time to be with friends and family, the time to just sit with coffee and just breathe it in, time to clean the house, to turn on music, to dance. And abundance is a mindset. Time, money, relationships. Yes, like your inner world. Do you feel like you are abundant, that you have all that you need and it flows through you and to you easily? This is true prosperity. It's not just financial, right? How do you define prosperity in all areas of your life? And yes, this can also be your physical body. Are you feeling abundant with your health, right? There are some people who have a lot of sick days. I would not say that is abundant. So how would you define prosperity in all areas of your life? For me, it is a mindset. It's taking number one and being able to be more present, to slow down, to live life at my pace, to not feel like I need to go do things, not having FOMO, and really having the time and the space and the energy to do what I want to do and have this free flowing abundance. Number three, how I redefine success is with self love, confidence, and embodiment. Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. I have to get used to it sitting right there. Self love, confidence, and abundance. That is the epitome of success. I would ask you first of all, is how does a strong sense of self love and confidence, really embodying that, affect the way you perceive success? So, perceive success. I like the way this one is worded because when you have a really strong sense of self love confidence, and abundance. For me, when I perceive it from that filter, success comes from within and not outside of me. It is how I feel about myself, my authenticity, being who I am in each moment and loving that version of me. Doesn't mean that when I screw up that I ignore that, but I don't turn on myself. I try to get better, but I still love the shadow parts, the darker parts, along with the higher conscious parts. Just like you do a child. You love yourself like you do your own child, or like you're speaking to yourself as a child. You still love them through the mistakes, and you love them for who they are in here, not for what they produce. So how does a strong sense of self-love and confidence and embodiment affect the way you perceive success? I would love to know. Number 4, how I redefine success is, do I have flow, harmony, and alignment in my life? Am I listening to my inner guidance every day? When I feel that resistance, when I feel that tightness in my chest, when I think about doing something, am I listening to that, or am I ignoring it and putting myself through suffering? Am I moving further away from my soul's mission, my spirit's purpose, to do something I feel like I should be doing? I love using the green light metaphor, because when you are in a rush and you're feeling all discombobulated and it feels like everything's taking you longer to get where you need to get to, and you jump in your car and you're racing because you don't have flow, you're trying to get to where you're going, you're not listening to your intuition, that's when you tend to hit all the red lights. Resistance every step of the way. You feel the stress bubbling up. You're trying to make things fit that don't fit. You're creating pressure. But when you live life in a way where you're in alignment and you're finding harmony, you begin to live in a life of more flow. And you jump in your car and you're just cruising and you're enjoying the moment, and the songs that you like come on the radio, and you hit every green light. No resistance, no stop and go, no self-sabotage, no 2 steps forward, 1 step back, just all green lights. You find the flow. Just like if you're in work and you are really focused on what you're doing. I just heard this the other day, that every time you are interrupted, it takes you 25 minutes to get back into that workflow. It takes you almost a half an hour to get back into flow every time you're interrupted. You know what it's like to be in flow, right? When you're in that workflow and no one's interrupting you, and you just have this constant stream of focus, productivity, like you're not aware of time and things just happen effortlessly. Maybe you're more creative. The answers are just coming and you get to be in flow. But when you're not in something, someone, a thought, you go against your it takes you so much time to get back on track, back in alignment, and you waste your time, and you might get sidetracked, and you might be going in a totally different direction. So number 4, me personally define success as being in flow and harmony and alignment. And a huge way to do that is beginning to follow your intuition. Another way, if you're not quite sure, is understanding your own vitality codes, understanding your energetic strategy and how you're meant to be in the world and connect with people. Not forcing things. You'll be able to feel in your body if it's something that feels right or if you're forcing it. How can you cultivate a state of flow and alignment in your daily life to redefine success? For me, I'm not always perfect, right? I still am a work in progress, and I have really good days and I have really unaligned days that are not in flow. I am having more and more days in flow, but I still have those wonky days. I still have those days of ego where the ego part of me wants to do or say something, or and I know it doesn't feel right, but that version of me wants to be right, even if it's going to set me back. Or I force myself to produce something or put something out there because of a fear, of a deep down fear that we all have, a mistrust that the universe doesn't have its own rhythm and that we're all just out here randomly doing stuff and that there's no rhyme or reason. I can tell you that that is not true. I know exactly why I'm here. I know why other people are here. And when you follow your intuition specifically, it is a compass to help guide you in the right direction, to help you find that flow, alignment, and harmony. So if all else fails, what do you feel? So to cultivate a state of flow and alignment in my daily life, one, I personally like to keep my house pretty clean. It lets this like steady stream of energy go, and then my brain isn't focused on all the chaos. But another thing that I do is I allow myself to take moments to just slow down, especially when I feel like I'm being rushed, especially when my mind is starting to race, when I can tell that the thoughts in my head, the ego, the lower self, starts telling me, you're not doing enough, you're not going to get it done, what are people going to think? You're so behind. If I feel myself starting to speed up, I will intentionally slow back down, tap back in, breathe, do what I need to do to get back in alignment. Because again, I always think about the lights. And when you're in a rush, you hit all red lights. And when you just sit back and go with the flow, you'll start to hit those green lights and you'll catch back up and you'll be in flow and it will feel so much better while you're doing it. You'll probably get the same amount of stuff done, if not more, but the real success is how do you feel when you're in flow versus resistance, when you're in harmony versus disharmony, when you're in alignment versus misalignment. Number five, how do I redefine success? For me, it is consciousness and increased energy. I feel more fulfilled when I am more conscious, when I'm vibrating at a higher energy level. I experience life differently when I am rising above. So instead of looking for the negative, instead of blaming, instead of focusing on low energy emotions, low level experiences, myself to begin to be more conscious? How can I be more objective? How can I see this from a higher perspective? How can I bring more awareness to my thoughts and my beliefs and my actions? How aware am I? Am I going through life unconscious? Doing the same thing, just getting up, and getting into this routine, and you can have good routines that are helping increase your consciousness, your body, that are expanding your mind and helping you self-actualize. There's a lot of great routines, but we don't want to get into unconscious routine where we just get up, or maybe we hit our snooze 2, 3, 4, 5 times and it's just an unconscious routine, and then we get up and we're late and we're rushing and we're not being present and we're not enjoying the little moments and we're not getting our feet in the grass, and we're not enjoying maybe turning on some music or whatever things that can bring you into the present moment. If you are on autopilot, like you jump in your car and you go to work and you don't even know how you got there, maybe that's how you might spend some of your days, where you just feel like you're on autopilot. How can you elevate your consciousness for a more fulfilled life? And the last one, number 6, fulfillment and peace. So basically, everything we've talked about comes down to fulfillment and peace. So I would say this is the ultimate success. I would say If you can get the first 5 things in alignment, if you can be intentional, if you can answer the questions, then you will have that ultimate success, that peace of mind. This is all about really, like, to be fulfilled goes to the idea of purpose. So having peace of mind and having purpose and having those be your guiding lights, your purpose. Like, why are you here? Are you here to run on a treadmill, pay bills, work? Some people, their work is part of their purpose. Absolutely. And I hope your work is a part of your purpose. But it doesn't even have to be the specific job. It could be your relationships and how you affect the people around you. It could be the humans that you are keeping safe and raising. What actions are you taking to prioritize your fulfillment and your peace on your journey to redefine your success? Fulfillment is your purpose, the thing that drives you, that wakes you up in the morning. I know when I'm living my purpose, when I am buzzing from excitement versus anxiety, because that was a big shift for me. I would wake up with anxiety and stress and a tight chest, even when I started my entrepreneurial journey. And the reason is I was getting so caught up in the actions I had to do, I was losing sight of the purpose. Like, the purpose was very, very important to me, and that was always my number one focus. But I got to a place where I had certain coaches, and it wasn't their fault, but I had certain coaches, and I was so stuck on the actions, the tasks, the to dos. I was so overwhelmed by the things I had to do in each day that I wasn't allowing myself to be pulled by the purpose. I was now being pulled by the fear, by the anxiety. So I would wake up with this buzzing, but I wouldn't even say it was buzzing. It was more of like this heavy energy in my chest. And now I wake up buzzing. Like, I'm just so excited to do the things I have to do because I'm focused on my purpose. And because I'm so focused on my purpose, it has brought me peace of mind, because for me, the most important thing is that I'm following my purpose and I'm in flow and I'm in alignment. And all of the things that we talked about, I do my best to check off every day. And like I said, it's not always perfect, but I am very conscious of it. And when I'm going off course, I zip myself right back and go, okay, what do I need to do? So the last question, what actions can you take to prioritize your fulfillment and your peace on your journey to redefine success? So the main thing that we talked about is presence and trust. It's number 1. 2, a mindset of prosperity and abundance, always having enough, not living in lack. 3, being of self-confidence, self-love, and full embodiment. 4 is flow, harmony, and alignment. 5 is consciousness and elevated energy. And then 6, bringing it all together, fulfillment and peace. So I hope that you found these interesting, and some of these questions opened up the topic for you to contemplate. Like, what are the things that I can do in my life right now that will help me redefine success? And yes, success beyond, like, impact beyond the physical transformation. So again, a lot of my clients, they come to me. I have 22 years of experience in health and fitness, but for me, their true success lies in these things. The physical transformation will happen if they're focused on these few things. Because even if you reach a specific weight or something that you're looking to accomplish, if you don't have these things, are you successful? Are you getting what you wanted out of the process? Because what most of us want is we want to feel fulfilled. We want to be happy. We want to find peace. We want to be on our purpose. And so those are going to be the most important things. And these are all things that I focus on with my clients when we are working together with Dream Body Alchemy, because it's all about all of the things, all of the misharmonies, so that you can step into a body and a life and a vision that is in harmony, so that you feel fulfilled. You no longer are trying to fill a void because you're so focused on the here and now and what really matters. And this is going to help you be successful. So allow yourself some time to reflect on your definition of success. And I would love to know, so reach out. What is your definition of success? And would you change anything or would you add anything to this conversation? I am so curious. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And as always, reach out if you want to work with me to embark on your own journey with Dream Body Alchemy. You can find me on all social medias, Dream Body Alchemy. Until next time, love you guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Dream Body Alchemy. If you liked what you heard, then be sure to hit like and subscribe. Got a burning question for Melissa or a topic you'd love her to discuss on the show? Get in touch. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok and Facebook at Dream Body Alchemy and Instagram at Dream Body Alchemist. Until next time, keep on glowing and growing. You got this.